Good day. Great to be here. I hope you've had a wonderful start to the event. My name is Jaakko Virevesi. I work a lot with CGI's industrial clients and have worked for several years in manufacturing, leading IT, driving digital development, etc. Today, I will give you a quick sneak peek into the world of the manufacturers before handing the stage over to Maija for her really exciting keynote on the data transformation of Kone. As Anette mentioned before, it's a highly volatile environment at the moment, and it certainly is a volatile macro environment for all the industrial players at the moment. There's a plethora of negative factors pushing towards the slowdown of the economy, higher inflation, growing geopolitical risks. We have a war in Europe, sanctions, etc. The industrial supply chains are fragile and unbalanced. Intel, the largest semiconductor manufacturer, just announced that their chip supply chain imbalance will run at least until 2024. So it's another indication that it's not a short-term dilemma. And it's the same thing for a lot of the components and raw materials. So redesigning of supply chain, rebalancing of the supply chain is for resilience and transparency. It's a key activity for basically all the manufacturers. We have a growing or increasing shortage of talent. Obviously, the great resignation ongoing in the US, but also increasingly here. We have an aging population. We have different demands for the different generations of the manufacturing workforce. Cybersecurity, obviously on the top of the list of all the industrial CEOs, as because of the current situation, and the wallets have opened for new security investments, which makes sense as manufacturing is actually the second most attacked industry right after financial services. The industrial value chains, and especially those working in energy-intensive sectors, have a key role to play in tackling climate change. And the decarbonization imperative and priority, it's particularly visible among the Finnish industrial leaders. So Finland continues to lead in front in sustainability. When we look at the maturity of digitalization, we can see that the industrial domain is not on par with many of the other industry domains. Whereas the pandemic accelerated the buildup of new digital capabilities in many industries, it's not as visible in manufacturing at the moment. We have those good old organizational and cultural challenges, leadership issues, ownership gaps, organizational silos, legacy ITs, etc. We see spearheads or those pockets of agile sprinters basically in every industrial company, but expanding and extending that on an enterprise scale remains a real hurdle. There are external pressures towards the manufacturers, both from the consumers and customers who want better customer experience, personalized products or services, but also from competition, perhaps those who have or are more digitally mature or those who might be entering some of the vertical markets horizontally. Partnerships remain more vital than ever. Digitalization is coming up, and partners play a key role in this regard. So what the digital leaders do differently? We define digital leaders as those who produce expected results from their digital strategies. And when looking at the pace of change in manufacturing and the kind of the evolution of the digital transformation, we see that the digital leaders are roughly 8 years ahead of the rest. So they've really created a true competitive advantage over the digital entrants or laggards who are just launching wider scale initiatives or focusing on more sporadic outcomes. And this maturity advantage or the maturity gap can be seen across the board, like you can see from the picture as well. So the digital leaders are very strong in keeping their core IT environments intact, modernizing their landscapes, securing their environments, etc. They are fastly becoming data-driven. In fact, the leaders are shifting their focus from the so-called first wave of digitalization and IoT, say condition monitoring or more simple data analytics or data processing solutions towards more integrated ones, oftentimes with a high degree of digital flavor. The leaders are also way more likely to partner effectively, and they use managed service providers not only to run their environments efficiently, but also to help them to transform. And more importantly, and most importantly, the leaders have a true North Star. So they've defined their ambition, the organization knows that ambition, and they've had the leadership and the courage to take the bull by the horns and go about it. Unifying people, processes, machines, and technology within the plant, across the value chain and throughout the wider ecosystem, that's our vision, and that's the basis for how we help our clients in the industrial space. This unified vision requires certain building blocks, including going beyond the traditional alignment methods, really working together in common cross-functional agile teams. It's about connecting the machines, the systems to humans, having effective data production, data logistics, data consumption methods, utilizing digital twins and AI to really unlock the value of data. Taking full advantage of the cloud, which is verticalizing for the manufacturing industry as well, and implementing the right security measures for IT, but also on the operational technology side, where the incidents are often more destructive. And finally, brief look into some of the important business imperatives for the future of the manufacturers, which will all be and are all powered and enabled by technology and digitalization. So if we look at the three at the top, resilience, agility, and efficiency, those continue to be important, vital for the competitiveness and for the survival of the company in this volatile VUCA world. But there are emerging trends as well, those that are often referred to as the Industry 5.0 ones, and those will be the differentiating imperatives for the future. And the digital leaders will be heading their way towards these more human-centric, personalized, and sustainable initiatives and solutions for their own companies, for their customers, as well as for the planet. Thank you very much.